Hey YouTubers, how you doing? Brian Betz here, jazz guitar player. Thought I would make a video regarding being a guitar player and how to play with a piano player, how to play with another chord instrument. At this time of the year, I adjudicate a lot of jazz festivals for high school primarily. And that's something that comes up a lot, is how, to play music. Being a guitar player, it can be in a big band setting, it can be in a combo setting, but how to play with another chord player. And I see a lot of musicians, they don't have to be high school, man. It could be like grown folks, and they, in my opinion, they're not doing it real musically, correctly, if I use the vernacular right there. It's not easy, first of all. Everybody wants to play. Okay, that's the first, I think, issue to address. Everybody wants to play. And if, people see me play with another chord player, primarily right now, I play with a wonderful vibraphone player by the name of Bengalese. And I've played with some wonderful piano players. It depends who you're playing with. Some people have great ears and they are all about the music and they're really truly listening, and they have that radar sense, if you will, to not play if somebody else is comping behind a soloist. Say there's a saxophone player and you're in like a quartet setting, or a quintet, and there's a sax player taking a solo. You don't need two people playing chords, in my opinion, and I know there's going to be people that blow up my comments about this, and it's my opinion, and I really don't care. But the bottom line is, if somebody's soloing, it's really all about that individual at that time, and your role as a chord player, rhythm section player, is to support that musically, harmonically, rhythmically. And two people playing chords at the same time, can it be done? Yeah, I'm not gonna go that far and say it cannot be done. But here's the problem, and here's what I tell my students, and I tell people when I'm giving clinics and trying to like help folks out. Okay, yeah, I don't care how great your ears are. You don't have a crystal ball, and you can't predict what somebody else is going to play. For example, say it's like a dominant 7th function, okay, and it's like a G7 chord, and that's what's being played at the time. The more you play this music, you find that there's ways of altering those chords and still being musically correct. Okay, so what if like all of a sudden the piano player in the group decides to play G7 flat 5, and I'm gonna play just a straight up G7? You're gonna have some conflicts there musically. And the analogy, I use is, it's like two people trying to talk at the same time, okay? If you're having a conversation, the way I look at it is like, somebody talks and you listen, you're attentive. If everybody's talking at the same time, it's kind of a hot mess. And I try to use that, analogy with the music, like, people talking at the same time musically, and sometimes harmony gets in the way, like what I just illustrated with like a G7, somebody's playing a flat 5, somebody's playing a natural 5. Now there's going to be people out there that say, well, that's cool. Okay, it might be cool for your group, but it's not cool for my group. And then whoever's soloing, you're encroaching and stepping on their thing. So what do I tell people to do? Okay, instead of just going on about what not to do and what doesn't work. Okay, if you're in a big band setting, you could certainly, if you're the guitar player, if the piano player is playing, comping the way they want to comp and what they're hearing, you could certainly, as a guitar player, go to the swing groove, the Freddie Green, a la Freddie Green thing. That never gets in the way. If you do it correctly, the Freddie thing never gets in the way. So blues and F. So like the piano player can comp all day over this, never getting away. Okay, that's a great sound. Now some guys are gonna be like, man, that's an old way of playing. I don't want to play that. Well, I like playing that way, and if it's done correctly, I think it's a great texture musically, and I think historically it's a great sound. Do I play that way all the time? No, but it's something in my pocket that I like to take out once in a while and show off. So that's one way you can make it happen. If it's traditional swing, if it's big band, but you have to do it correctly. You can't. I see guys where they go, no, man, and it sounds like, I don't want to start cussing, but no, then it's not happening. You have to do it the correct way. And then you're going to capture that Count Basie hard swinging thing that I think is great. That's one example of guitar and a chord instrument playing together and making it work. Another thing I do when I'm playing I play the vibraphone player a lot and some piano players. This is going to, lay out. There's so many times, if you look at videos of me playing, I'm not playing. I'm standing there trying to look cool. That's it. That's what I'm trying to do. But musically, it's one of the best things you can do. If you have a piano player that's playing with the bass and the drums, and they have their stuff together, they don't need you to play. Okay? Chords, that is. They do not need you to play. This vibraphone player I play with, I'll back him up to an extent, but that's different. Vibraphone, he can have 4 mallets at the most. Okay? Guitar, you could have all 6 strings ringing at once at the most, which is cool, but in most cases you're not gonna, if I comp, it's like 4 notes at most. But you could have all 6. Okay. Piano, comping. Okay? And I love piano players, I love the sound, but they like to play everything most of the time. They like to, hey man, here it is. Oh, you want a C13 chord? Yeah, baby. I'll give you all the notes in the 13. 1, 3, 5, 7, 9, 11, 13, and I'm gonna do, okay. Great. I can't do it. I only have 6 strings. But what I'm saying is, laying out is huge. And if you're playing with a great piano player, they do not need you to back them up. So that's the second thing you could do. First is Freddie Green style. Second, lay out. Third, what do I do sometimes? You can, if you really want to play and you're itching to play, you got to do the opposite that the other chord player's doing. So if they're busy, you have to be long. So like long comping versus so if the piano player is playing, they're busy. The opposite would be to be, you could call it play pads. That's a possibility. So you could do the opposite that the other guy's doing. You could also, that's 3 examples. 4 examples. You could switch on and off. Personally, I'm not a big fan of that because I think the texture gets a little wonky, but it's possible. Like, okay, for the trumpet solo, I'm gonna comp for him. And then when the saxophone comes up to play, the piano's gonna comp for them and I'm gonna lay out. That's a possibility. So you got 4 things. Something else I do, and I think it comes down to taste and what you like to listen to. I love Wes Montgomery. I love Pat Martino, and my favorite of all time is George Benson. If you follow me on my channel, you know that by now. But I'll do like the Wes Montgomery thing, okay? The guide tone thing. So like, if I'm playing blues in F, right? 1, 2, 3, 4. So the rhythm section's going by. Now, I don't have the rhythm section with me, but in my head, I'm thinking the bass and the drums and someone else comping. And what I would do is play those punchy little lines, 3, 4. that kind of stuff. And if you listen to Wes Montgomery, Smoking at the Half Note, you know, he does that on a couple of those numbers with Wynton Kelly playing piano. And for me, now this is a thing of taste, absolutely love it. I think it's effective and I like the sound. Yeah, some other people that listen to like Alan Holdsworth or something might be like, well, that's not for me and not my cup of tea. But the purpose of this video is to give you some options of playing with another chord player. So I've given you 5 different things to do. As my grandfather clock is going off and the monastery sounds are right here in my office. You know, for me personally, the powerful thing is laying out. I think laying out is very effective. I think it takes the most discipline though, because I've played with many, many great piano players and other chord players, and they'll look at me and say, yeah, bro, you, like in the middle of the song, you come. Okay. And then like 9 bars later, they're comping. Some people just have a tough time not playing. But I think not playing sometimes is the most effective. And when I do play or when you play, make the folks listen. I hope this video has helped. And if you have any questions, please put them in the comments. And everybody keep on swinging.